Welcome. This is the Center for Development of Security Excellence's brief about the Defense Security Skills Standards, or the DS3. Presently, the DS3 is being updated to version 8.2. The first version, 1.0, was issued in February of 2006. The DS3 is reviewed and updated annually to remain current and reliable for security practitioners in the field and their functional managers. As such, the DS3 updates are designed to reflect policy changes and to improve its overall functionality. Today's agenda contains 4 tasks. 1. Defining the DoD Security Skills Standards. In other words, what is the DS3? The document itself has 2 primary components, the Security Essential Body of Work and the Security Essential Body of Knowledge, and we will define and demonstrate how to use those today. Number 2. What is new in version 8.2? There are structural changes and new sections to make the document more readable and usable, and the update includes the addition of updated policy. Number 3. Following that, what does this mean to you? As a DSTC member and a member of the community, you should leave here understanding how this document can be used. Number 4. Finally, our brief will wrap up by reviewing what are the next steps about moving forward with the update of the DS3 document. What is the DS3? The Department of Defense Security Skills Standards, DS3, documents and codifies the Department of Defense's, or DoD's, expectations of what a security practitioner needs to know and be able to do to protect its personnel, information, equipment, activities, facilities, and operations. Structurally, the DS3 is a 158-page document comprised of 2 main sections, the Security Essential Body of Work, or SEC-EBW, and the Security Essential Body of Knowledge, or SEC-EBK, and an appendix. Fundamentally, the DS3 provides a right flank to map your development efforts to professionalize your security workforce, defining the knowledge and skills required, providing guidelines for proficiency, and having a framework to measure those skills and performance levels. Managers use the DS3 to guide security professionals, better aligning the mission based on vetted standards. For employees, the DS3 provides a foundation for career success. It provides a map to continued professional growth. The DS3 allows for transportability. In other words, it goes with you throughout your career. The DS3 is a document that is composed of the DoD security community's expectations of security professionals and practitioners. It is important to note that this document was vetted and approved by the security community through the Defense Security Training Council, or the DSTC. It addresses each of the 5 security disciplines: industrial, information, personnel, physical, and general security. The DS3 is used at CDSC on behalf of the Defense Security Services Director, who is the Career Field Manager for Education, Training, and Certification. The DS3 is considered the blueprint or backbone of CDSC. It defines the certifications, and it provides a framework that training and education can align to. Finally, because the DS3 represents the DoD security community's expectations of security professionals and practitioners, it provides a consistent basis of what is expected within security positions specific to hiring. Now let's look at how the DS3 is composed. The DS3 is framed by what a security professional needs to know and needs to be able to do. It is broken down into 2 primary sections: the Security Essential Body of Work, or what a security professional is able to do, which covers the major roles and responsibilities, such as analyze duties to protect and assess risks, etc., and includes the major tasks critical to carrying out the roles and responsibilities of the security practitioner. The DS3 is also composed of the Security Essential Body of Knowledge, or what a security professional needs to know, and this contains competencies based on the 5 security disciplines. It is composed also of associated knowledge and skills to master in order to perform the essential body of work. If we look back at our goals from the beginning of the session, we've accomplished our first task of defining the DS3. Let's move on now to discuss what is new in version 8.2. On your slide, you'll see a direct quote from the skills standards. The skills standards specify a community's essential body of knowledge, EBK, based on a clear understanding of the community's essential body of work, EBW. This quote from the DS3 makes it clear that the user must understand the essential body of work, or EBW, to apply the essential body of knowledge, or EBK. However, the EBK has always been before the EBW. In this version, they have been switched. Now, for enhanced readability and comprehension, the EBW will come before the EBK. This allows the user to have context when reading and reviewing the EBK. Additionally, the DS3 EBW section is broken down into 11 accountabilities. Within each accountability, the DS3 provides a definition and then breaks the accountability down further into actions. Each accountability has a unique number of actions defined, some of which are practice neutral or apply across all areas of security, and some are practice specific to one or more specific areas of security. The document distinguishes between the two with color coding. In this update, an Areas of Expertise section was created to link all of the accountabilities to their respective practice areas. Let's look at an example. What you are seeing on your screen is a partial picture of the first accountability from the Essential Body of Work section. Notice the explanation at the top that tells you that yellow indicates actions that cut across security practice areas. That's fairly self-explanatory. If an action item is coded yellow, the user can understand that no matter what area of security they practice within, they will be expected to perform this action. The explanation goes on to say, green indicates actions that are specific to a practice area. This could be confusing without some direction as to which practice areas the action is applied. In this iteration of the DS3, the practice area that the green action codes apply to are specified at each code. In other words, in this iteration, we explain exactly which practice areas the green action codes will apply to. Let's look at how to use this tool. First, looking at this accountability and breaking it down, a user would see the name, Analyze Duties to Protect, and could read its definition. From there, the action will be listed. In this example, A1A is yellow. That means that no matter what area of security a person practices within, they will be expected to be able to specify need to originally classify information. If they didn't know what that meant, they could read the definition below it. DoD expects security professional to determine the need to classify information as outlined in applicable laws, standards, regulations, policies, and requirements. That makes sense, right? If you think about it, the professionals that you work with, wouldn't you expect them all to be able to perform this action? Now, let's look at A1C, which is green. Specify need to identify critical research technology and/or critical program information requiring protection. This is not an action that every security practitioner needs to be able to perform. Hence, it is being colored green. Now you will see that this and all green action codes identify which practice areas need to be responsible for this action. The next step to having a more usable and readable DS3 was to create a clear link between the essential body of work and the essential body of knowledge. Having the EBW provides the context of the work being performed. Now there is a link to the knowledge the professional needs to have to perform those actions. What you are seeing on your screen is the new Areas of Expertise table that has come out in version 8.2. This is where the link between the essential body of work and the essential body of knowledge takes place. If we go back to our previous example, the user wants to know what competencies the Analyze Duty to Protect action code applies to. If we zoom in on the table to the A1 section, we can see that the Analyze Duties to Protect accountability will apply to the information security fundamentals, information protection requirements, physical security concepts, industrial security concepts, program security, and program management competency sections of the essential body of knowledge. Now, a user can quickly and easily turn to the competencies that are relevant to their career path to find what they need to know to be able to perform their job. Let's take a look at what that competency section will look like for the user. On your screen, you should be seeing a table of competencies. The essential body of knowledge is driven by competencies. This table lists these competencies and provides a definition of what they are. Within the EBK, the related knowledge and skills critical to the successful performance of the actions and accountabilities from the EBW are outlined. There are 16 competencies grouped in clusters, such as the Information Security Cluster, that subject matter experts believe are critical to all the practice-neutral or yellow actions from the EBW. Version 8.2 creates a link between the cross-functional competencies in the EBK with the EBW. Returning to our example of Analyze Duties to Protect, we saw on the Areas of Expertise table that one of the competency sections that is linked is Information Security Fundamentals. Each section is broken down into specific competencies, such as the Information Security Program, which is the first competency in the Information Security Fundamentals section, to link with the Analyze Duties to Protect accountability from the EBW. Hence, it is numbered AOE, or Areas of Expertise, 1.1, with IS in parentheses for information security. If we were to proceed further through the section, we would see AOE 1.2, AOE 1.3, etc. The essential body of knowledge then breaks out what the professional needs to know at least the fundamental level based on subtopic, with each subtopic linked to relevant security policy. As we look at the changes to the DS3, we've covered the updates to the structure of the Security EBW and EBK sections and how to use the DS3 within those sections. Now we need to look at how the current policy references have been updated and the inclusion of insider threat. Once again, we are looking at an example from the Security Essential Body of Knowledge section of the DS3. Here you can see the policy links associated with each subtopic of the EBKs. These are updated to reflect current policy and to make sure that each subtopic is linked in some way to a policy. The DS3 was developed initially to describe the practice of security. However, knowledge and skills you may need in order to practice security may not be in a policy. However, all policies list out roles and responsibilities, and where there is nothing in the policy to say what knowledge and skills are required, the policy says that the component is responsible for performing that role. This is how subtopics were linked if there was no direct security policy to associate with it. In other words, you may think to yourself, there isn't a policy to cover such and such subtopic. In that instance, you will find the policy link that indicates that this is an area that the component is responsible for performing, and therefore it will become the component's responsibility to define what that looks like within their organization. Because we know that the policy links of the DS3 are going to change frequently, this is a section that we update annually. As part of policy updates, the DS3 also needed to have additional content added to the general security section regarding insider threat. More than likely, more info regarding insider threat will be included soon as the new personnel security policy comes out. So anticipate additional insider threat information to be coming to the personnel security section of the DS3. Once again, as we look back at what changes have been made to the DS3, we've moved past the policy changes. Another change is the addition of a glossary of acronyms. There are many acronyms in use at present, and some are very similar to others. There are also acronyms that are specific to a particular component, and the DS3 may use acronyms that a component or an agency had never heard of. The addition of a glossary was to aid the end user in the readability and use of the document. Lastly, we recognized a need to add content regarding cybersecurity. At present, we are not including cyber content as part of version 8.2. We have a working group made up of subject matter experts from the community to gather input and support for content before presenting it for a vote to the DSTC and potential eventual addition to the document in the general security section. As we look at our agenda from the beginning of our section, we've now reviewed the changes to the document. As you can see, there have been no overwhelming changes. We really wanted to work with the content to make it a more usable document during this update, with minimal content changes. The updates are pretty easy to review. Now is important to look and see how this document can be used by members of the Defense Security Training Council and as members of the community. Let us look into a deeper understanding of what the document means to you. For career field managers, the DS3 provides a right flank to map your development efforts to professionalize your security workforce, defining the knowledge and skills and providing guidelines for proficiency, while having a framework to measure those skills and performance levels. It's envisioned that career field managers will be able to use this to help guide what they're looking for within their agencies and departments, as well as to help managers and employees guide their career and professional growth. At the manager's level, the DS3 can be used to guide security professionals and better align the mission based on vetted standards. Knowing that these are standards that are approved by the security community, it can help to develop individual development plans, set goals, performance evaluations, and help to guide your staff towards achieving greater success in their roles. Finally, for the employees themselves, if they choose to be proactive in their career, the DS3 provides a guide through the use of the areas of expertise to not only what they should know and be able to do in their current role, but it also gives them insight into what they should know and be able to do for positions they may hope to transition into over the course of their career. Additionally, the DS3 provides a foundation for our certification program, and certification provides a foundation for career success. Certification is transportable, in other words, it goes with you, and it provides a map to continued professional growth. Once again, looking at our agenda, that covers how the document is intended to be used by the community. Let's look now at what the next steps are for the DS3. At this point, the DS3 has been sent to the DSTC and the security community for their review and comments. Those comments have been received and mitigated and incorporated into the final version of the DS3 version 8.2. That is currently awaiting vote by the DSTC for approval. Upon approval, version 8.2 will become the current and usable version of the DS3 for all security practitioners within the security community, and it will be used by the training and education divisions to link their trainings to, and it will be used to update any certifications as needed. We will continue to work with the Cybersecurity Working Group to address content that can potentially be added to the DS3 at a later time. So with all that information about the DS3 in mind, let's recap. The Defense Security Skills Standards is a document that has been vetted and approved by the security community based on what a security professional needs to know and be able to do. The newest version adds updated policy references, includes insider threat content, and has an improved layout and in areas of expertise to help users understand how to read and apply the document. This document is used across the security professional workplace. If you have any further questions about the use of the DS3, please do not hesitate to contact our office at SPEDCERT, that's SPEDCERT, at dss.mil. Thanks and have a great day.